some more exciting progress in this job. The worktops have now been fitted. The island's done there, as you can see, with this lovely kitchen sink in here. Lovely detail here with the way it's moulded in, the way it runs around. It's completely seamless, really, really good. So the cooker tap will be fitted there, so that's an instant hot water tap. And then round here as well, absolutely breathtaking. Really, really nice this is. Really nice contrast as well against the windows. Kitchen sink over here with the integrated draining board there. Another beautiful detail with this sink here as well, where it's nicely moulded in. Over here, as you can see, I'm just getting set up to oil this worktop up. So what we've done is we've used a grey oil from a local supplier. It's the same supplier that we're getting the kitchen table, well, the client's already getting the kitchen table off, which is going to go over there. So basically that's going to then have the same effect as this, the same stain on it. So all I need to do now is apply this finishing oil, 2 coats of that. If you've watched Tony's video about his curved stairs, you'll see that he's using exactly the same product. So yeah, I'll set up the time lapse and you can watch me crack on with this. So, kitchen fitters were in yesterday and the kitchen is looking really, really smart. This breakfast bar here, looking pretty good. You saw me oiling this up. This has now been fitted on. We've had this lovely addition of this Evo line flip socket. So as you can see, you just push here and there we go. 2 sockets and a USB. So if the client wants to use any appliances on here, a laptop on the breakfast bar or anything like that, they've got power right here. We were originally going to have a socket underneath here, but we decided that you don't really want trailing cables coming over the top. We've got the hob here as well. A nice cooker tap there with an extendable piece on here. Look. So if you want to wash any dishes or anything like that, it's really good. We've also got a tap fitted over there in that sink. There's a few little bits that are waiting to come from Germany. There's a handrail going in between there which needs to come, and there's a drawer on the other side of this island here. But apart from that, the kitchen fitters are just about done. So the next stage in here is, there's 2 things to go on now. So we've got a hood going in up here, but what we're doing is we're building a bulkhead, I may have mentioned before, which will basically replicate the perimeter of this island, but it will be up there on the ceiling. The hood will be up here, so that's going to actually be flush mounted with this bulkhead at the top. So that's going to be a really, really nice detail up there. So I'll be getting on making that. So it's Monday morning and we're making some more progress. Today we're going to be starting on these steps, which are going to take us from the kitchen into this area through here. So as you can see, we've got everything marked out on the wall. So what we've got here is our brick line, which is here and here, as you can see. And then this line here represents the tile. So we've actually got a nose on this tile. I'll show you the tile here. So it matches in with the floor tile, it's the same, but it's actually prefabricated to actually be a step. So there's this nose and detail on it here, as you can see. So once that sits on top, the brickwork will obviously sit behind, and once it sits on top, this will then cloak over the face of the brickwork, giving you the nose in of the step. We've got 1 step here, 2 there, this will be the 3rd, and then the 4th will take you into the room. Yeah, what we've done is marked all this out on the floor, as you can see. We've taped across here as well, so this line here now represents the face of the brickwork. So Alex can get this first one in, and then we can go from there. What's going to be here, I think I mentioned before, is a cat flap. Because we don't have a cat flap, the clients have cats. So originally it was, I can't remember where it was, over there somewhere. But obviously that's not here anymore. So what we're going to do is this first step here will carry through all the way into here, and then the second step starts about here. So we're going to cut this out here and make an actual walkway through the wall to a cat flap outside. So it's a really nice detail. We're going to use this step as well. The tile will actually follow through. It'll be architrave round as well, so it'll be a really nice feature actually. So yeah, that should be pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll set up a time lapse and you can watch Alex build these steps. So you've seen Alex making the steps. Today we've got Greg in getting them tiled. As you can see, we've got these awesome tiles here which match in with the floor. They've got this nice little nosing on here, this nice little detail. So hopefully you'll agree they look amazing. What I'll do is I'll set up a time lapse and you can watch Greg work his magic. Joe, that'd be mad.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from? My name's John.
Anyway. So guys, you've just seen Greg tiling these steps, and as you can see, they look absolutely amazing. Definitely went with the right decision there, because like I said before, originally I'm going to put in some blue bricks across here, but going with these tile risers looks a lot better. Really, really good finish there. What Greg's done is mitered in these corners as well, rather than using the bead. As you can see, look at that, really, really nice angle across there. And he's buffed them up really nicely, so they look really, really good. Nice clean corner, and it also goes through into the cap flap as well. Awesome job from GN Tiling. Make sure you're following on Instagram, GN_tiling.
You got it.
Boom. I am out here, braving the rain. Well, I've got a canopy, so I'm cheating a little bit. I'm going to be making the bulkhead, which I've mentioned, which is going above the island. So here's a little diagram, well, a very good diagram that the client has actually made up. So this is what's going to happen. So the actual cooker hood itself will fit here, and then there's going to be some downlighters in there and in this breakfast bar bit, and it's going to look like this. So as you can see, that's where it will be housed there. So I've got to build this framework up. We're also going to have an LED strip, which is going to sit in the actual recess just here. So that'll light up the ceiling nicely, and obviously you'll have these downlighters as well, which are going to face down onto the island. Basically, I'm going to get this built together now, and then we can get this installed. So you've just seen me routing out this bit of timber, which is going to form part of the frame for the bulkhead. The reason I've routed this section out here, as you can see, is for this. So this is a diffuser. What happens is this sits in there nicely, as you can see. So it sits flush with the top of this, and actually inside here, our LED strip will sit, which will then illuminate the ceiling. So the reason for the diffuser is basically to stop any individual lights poking up. So what I mean by that is, if you put an LED strip onto a wall or ceiling or anything like that, where the strip comes along like this, there's small LEDs in the strip, and what that'll actually do is, because it's going to be quite close to the ceiling, you will actually see these individual spots of light like that onto the ceiling. So by using this diffuser strip, it actually eliminates that, because it just gives you a more broader light, so you don't get these pinpoint points of light basically on the ceiling. So that's why I'm routing this bit in here. I'll do that, I'll repeat it around all the framework. I've done these bits already, I just need to widen this out, and then this bit will be stuck together then, and then this LED diffuser strip will just drop straight in. So here is the second stage of our frame for the bulkhead in the kitchen. As you saw me, I've routed this detail out here for the diffuser strip. This is going to be the upstand, which will sit against the ceiling. There's a little bit of timber to put on top of this as well, just to give us the exact height that we need. So that's that. Right, so that piece that I've just done here is actually this top section up here. So now what I need to do is make this area here. So what I'm going to do is make that out of 2x2. So I'll make a small frame again, which will sit underneath this, and then we can bolt that to this, and then that will form the majority of the bulkhead. And then I need to make this radius here. So guys, there's been a little change with our frame, nothing too serious, but as with all building, there's always some modification that needs to be done just to make sure the finished product is absolutely perfect. So what we hadn't anticipated is the actual width of this. This is the motor for the hood. It's actually wider than the actual surround itself. So what that's meant, to ensure that our hood lines up with the hob below it, we've had to take a section of this frame out, and I've also had to reduce this in slightly. Originally our upstand was here, as you've probably seen earlier on, so now our upstand will be here, sat on top, which will reduce this overhang here, but will maintain the height. So I've also had to adjust this frame in here, this internal frame, and obviously I've had to take this off, which is a bit of a pain, but unfortunately things like that happen. So yeah, like I said, our upstand will now sit on top of this, which will be actually our lightweight frame, which we'll fix to the ceiling first of all. Yeah, and then once that's all in place and easily done, then we can get this fixed in place, bolted in nice and securely to the ceiling. So as usual, I'll set up a time lapse and you can watch me do this. So now I'm making the radius part of this, which is here, as you can see. So the client has worked this out and actually given us the radius, which is 797 for the outer piece and 617 for the inner piece. So I'm currently making the outer piece here. So I've marked all this out, as you can see, and I've made myself a trammel, which is here. So what will happen is, this has been set for my router trimmer to sit in there, and the back of my router bit will actually just hit this line here, and then this point there is this point here, so that there is my radius then of 797. So I'll run this trammel around the outside of this, yeah, cut this piece out nice and round as it's meant to be, and then use my plunge saw to cut out these angles here, and then that will give me the perfect shape that I need. Here's one that I made earlier. So what will happen with this is it will fit on just like that. It will sit underneath it slightly, just to replicate the breakfast bar on the island underneath it. And then the smaller section will then sit slightly higher up. I'll just show you on the plan. The smaller section will sit slightly up here, and that is basically to hide the lights, because there's going to be two downlighters in here, there and there, look, yeah. So that will go in this smaller radius. And then, yeah, that will disguise it all nicely. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We've been showing you how we've made these steps. We've been showing you the worktops being installed, and we've been showing you the beginnings of this extractor hood which sits above the island. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. Also subscribe and turn on your notifications, so every time we release a video you'll be notified. In our next episode we'll show you exactly how we got to this, the conclusion of the hood, and also, just a quick sneak peek, we put up these shelves. Yeah, look really effective, but it's obviously a really intricate process. So make sure you tune into the next episode to see how we did it. Take care.